Hello and welcome to our appeal for change. We know that 2020 has been a really difficult year for many. Some of you might have lost loved ones, some of you might have had a difficult time at work or even lost your jobs. But we've also seen a huge amount of positives that have come out of this year, from the compassion that everybody has shown each other and their willingness to work together to support each other. And even at home, you might have spent more time together as a family, might have baked, gone out on more walks in green spaces, or also just appreciated living a little bit slower and getting a better work-life balance. Well, we've taken the opportunity this year to review our strategy at Fordhall and look at where we want to be and what we want to do going forward. And what we want to be doing is really encouraging and supporting the positive changes we've seen this year. Not only for ourselves, but for our planet. Climate change is also still there on the horizon. And it's our disrespect for nature that caused the global pandemic, but it was also nature that's helped us through it. And by looking after and nurturing nature, we're also going to help climate change. There have been so many localised systems that have sprung up through the pandemic to support us all, whether it be farm shops, your local community groups. They've been there when we've needed them, and they've been able to satisfy those needs that some of the global corporations have struggled with. Change at Fordhall, though, isn't new. Dad set a key direction for change here back in the 1940s when he turned the farm organic and he decided to stop using chemical fertilisers on the land. He spent his life rebuilding the fertility within the soil and encouraging all the natural relationships and symbiotic relationships within our soil and within nature that now produce food here today with very little impact and input from us. There's been 100 years coming up of change at Fordhall, and we need to make it count. We want to encourage all of those relationships that we've seen in nature. We see how those relationships allow an abundance and beauty of life to thrive. But we also see how the diversity in nature, shapes, sizes and colours, are also what allow it to thrive and sustain itself. Back in 2006, we also learnt the power of ground roots action. When Ben and I were raising £800,000 to save the farm from development, we were in our early 20s. There was a lot of young naivety there. We didn't know what we were doing, but you believed in us. We believed then it was possible. And we set on a journey of change and that David and Goliath battle, which ultimately was successful because so many of you cared to make that small but significant action. And that really has allowed us to believe that it's not just about the big actions that count, but it's about the regular, small, significant actions which can go on to create huge, significant change. So we want to continue that, as I said, at Fordhall through our appeal, which builds on compassion, collaboration and our connections. And our connections are to each other, and our connections are there for nature. And we know that when we care about something, we're more likely to do something about it. So we want to encourage activities which give us a chance to sense, to smell, to hear, to touch all the wonderful things that nature has to offer. Every child should get excited by seeing the worms or climbing a tree. We should all be able to get some solace and respite from sitting outside for 5 minutes in the beautiful sunshine on a November day as it is today and listening to the birds. We should also be able to appreciate and have access to nourishing, healthy food, that we have the time and the capacity to be able to cook at home to help feed our families and keep them healthy. And we know all of this all starts with a step forward. And that step forward for us is the appeal for change. And we're hoping that as a result of this appeal, we'll be able to put so many steps in place to take Fordhall on to the next level. It might be craft courses, it might be using natural materials to be artistic. It might be continuing the afternoon amble that we started this year to help reduce loneliness and give people an opportunity to appreciate being outdoors in a social environment. It might be about improving access to the farm so those that are less able can also get outside and appreciate the green spaces. Also about looking at our own ecological impact here at Fordhall, not pretending that we're perfect, looking at what we can improve, learning about the huge number of different species and diversity that we've got here and how we can make that better to benefit the farm but also the planet. We want to take all these steps forward here at Fordhall, but we don't want it to stop there. We want to collaborate with others so that our learning goes outside of the farm gate. Maybe we can encourage other areas of land to also go into community ownership. Maybe we can share what we've learnt here through our foggage farming system. All of this is possible, and it's all in our direction going forward. So if you've got any spare cash, and apparently there's 50 million hiding behind your sofas, then please do send it through to help our appeal for change. But it's not just about the money. It's also about what you guys can do at home and how you guys can be catalysts of your own for change. Whether it's be shopping local, eating seasonally, cooking at home and sharing that passion for cooking with your family, with your grandchildren, with your friends. Perhaps growing something in your garden. Or perhaps just encouraging yourself to take 5 minutes every day to step outside, sit somewhere, snuggled up if it's cold, and just listen to nature and the birds and enjoy those sounds and that joy it's given you. Ultimately, hopefully you can see that we're passionate about it, and we hope you will join us on our journey to help restore hearts, minds and soil at Fordhall. Thank you.